So they took the cracker out of the barrel. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. I was not expecting on making this video today, but this is too funny. So this is a new Cracker Barrel logo, and I'm going to explain to you the good, the bad, and the ugly behind this rebrand. You know, as an American, I have been to the Cracker Barrel countless times. Most of the times, it's when you're on a road trip and you already had McDonald's for lunch, so you go to Cracker Barrel for dinner. One time, my wife and I even went there for Valentine's Day. I still don't really know why we did that. But today, Cracker Barrel has changed a few things. They announced a new logo for the first time in 47 years. It is clean, it's modern, it's fresh, and a lot of people hate it. Obviously, the biggest change here is they got rid of the old man and the barrel, and then this background here was supposed to be like a pinto bean from what I looked up online, and now it is very simplified. It's just a text-based logo. I found this brand guidelines. There you have a monogram, of course. These badges are kind of fun. The Cracker Barrel logo has changed many times throughout the year. Not really. No, it's hardly ever changed, actually. So here's the 4 rebrands before this one. So of course, here's their first logo, which was probably what they used before they really had a logo. And then this logo was created. And since then, there's been some minor changes to it. You can see color change here. They added some clarity to the man between here and here, and lowercase some of the R's over here, uppercase the old country store. And then now, bam, here it is. So really, it's pretty much been the same since 1977 to today. And what do people think about this change? Well, it's kind of what people think about all change, and they hate it. Here's redesign. Cracker Barrel changes logo. Meemaw's gonna lose her teeth over this. This has gone way too far. I absolutely hate everything about this change from a design perspective. So now it's a Denny's. That is so accurate. What's Denny's logo look like? Wow. Yep. Yeah, I see it. Yikes. The brief remove all personality from the logo. And besides people on Reddit and Twitter and everywhere else complaining, their stock has crashed. It is down 20%. People are very, very unhappy with this rebrand. To me, this feels very similar to what we experienced last year with Jaguar. Here is that rebrand in case you forgot or didn't see. This was the old Jaguar logo, very feisty, very aggressive. And then the new one is very bubbly. It's got this pink and blue, like baby pink and blue. They also made all of these really wacky videos that have nothing to do with cars. What is he doing in this one? What is that, a piece of metal or something? They clearly spent a lot of money on this change. But the biggest problem with this change is it alienated the people who bought Jaguars, who are not really into this type of design. They wanted an aggressive, mean, fast car, and this is a little bit opposite of that. But before I hate on this logo too much and explain everything wrong with it, let's talk about maybe the good with it, which is probably something you haven't heard yet, because it's not the worst logo in the world. First of all, it is a modern logo. They cleaned up this typography. You can see here, it's very messy, and here, from a design standpoint, they cleaned it up. It looks way better now. It's also a lot more scalable and flexible. It's designed for digital now. Even if you look at their new app icon, it fits very nicely in there. And then like these marketing materials, like I like the barrel shape with the photos inside here. Here it is, the app on the iPad. I mean, it looks good and it's clearly working. Like the brand itself is good and it's digitized, it's modern. And you can't say that Cracker Barrel wasn't overdue for a rebrand. I mean, it hadn't changed in like 50 years. So it's kind of okay to have a little bit of rebrand, and this isn't a bad logo from a design standpoint at all. This is good. This is well put together. And unlike Jaguar, they did keep a lot of the same elements from the past logo. It's the same color palette, almost identical identical. The typography is what it was before, but better. And even this background is a barrel, which I don't think a lot of people are picking up on. Now, all that being said, obviously a lot of people don't like this logo. So what's the real reason behind that? Because it's not that it's a bad design. Let me tell you. So for this video, I tried to look up some of the history on the previous logo. And if you go to the Cracker Barrel website, you can see their history and timeline here. And it's got Bill Holley creates the logo. But when you click on this, it takes you to a page not found. So I think they took down the website. Regardless, I was able to find out some information. So this old man here is a fictional character, and his name was just Old Timer. So he wasn't a real person. A lot of people say that he had some resemblance to an uncle in the Cracker Barrel family, but the reality is he was just a person who was meant to represent nostalgia. And this guy, Bill Holley, when he created the Cracker Barrel logo, he met with their founder and he drew this thing up on a napkin, and he said, you know, it felt like you were walking into the past. So from the beginning, this logo and Cracker Barrel in general was meant to give you that sense of nostalgia and like that you were walking into an old-fashioned, old-timey restaurant. In the new modern redesign here, this is obviously modern, and it feels a lot like the other modern rebrands that we've experienced, and that's sort of the core of the issue here, is that the actual people that go to Cracker Barrel don't want it to feel modern. The goal of Cracker Barrel isn't to feel modern. And then the people who want something that is modern would never go to a Cracker Barrel in the first place. So just like with Jaguar, it's alienating their actual audience, their actual target market who would go to a Cracker Barrel. It gets a little bit worse. They also change a lot of the interior design. So the interior design is very iconic. When you go into a Cracker Barrel, it looks kind of like this. They have a lot of little old antiques on the wall. They have this like old wooden furniture. It's kind of dark, but again, it's all of like this sense. And when you walk in for the first time, there's like a lobby with a bunch of little knickknacks and things that you can buy. It almost feels like you're eating in an antique store. Here's a TikTok of what the interior looks like. It is white and contemporary and modern. Here's another. You can see it's very bright, it's very white. It's not like messy and overwhelming like it used to be, but that was also the charm. And it kind of reminds me of the McDonald's rebrand for their architecture when it used to be like this. I'm sure you've seen this thing on Facebook or somewhere. So they started renovating these Cracker Barrels last year, and so far they've done about 40 of them, and they've got a lot more to go, but that's sort of the direction that they're going in. There's also a lot of political backlash going on with this. I'm not going to get into politics on this channel. This is just about the design, but as you can see, this is posted on CNN, it's posted on Fox News, and there's a lot of backlash because again, the people that go to Cracker Barrel, it's a very southern restaurant, and they're feeling backstabbed by this design change because it feels so corporate. Overall, I think the idea here was right, but the execution was wrong. Cracker Barrel deserves to stay relevant. They deserve to have a rebrand after 47 years without backlash. But the problem was, I honestly think they were probably about 5 to 10 years late on this rebrand. The trend now is no longer oversimplifying your logo, but it's actually going back to the retro logos, which is probably the most ironic part about all of this. You can see Pepsi changed their logo recently. Here was their logo that we knew before, and here's the logo that you see on all the Pepsi cans now, but that's not a new logo. That logo was from 1987 to 1997, and they made some subtle adjustments to refreshen it to use today. Similarly, here's Jell-O with a really cool retro inspired logo. Here is Burger King. This was their original logo. Then this is a logo we've used recently, and now they brought back this retro logo with just subtle changes. Pizza Hut didn't even do the subtle changes. Here's 2019 to now, and here it was in 1974. They just straight up brought back the logo. So I hate to say it, but this logo just it didn't need to change. They kind of missed the mark. Oversimplifying logos was like 5 years ago, and now we're bringing it back to retro logos. And what I would have recommended to Cracker Barrel if they had just asked me is that they use that old logo, here it is, but freshen it up a little bit and do something like this. I made this in about 5 minutes, okay? It's not going to be perfect, but this is using their new typography, which I do think is an upgrade, and just simplifying like the pinto bean and making the man a little bit bigger. And then there's so many things you can play with. Like this illustration style of the barrel is really cool, and it could be a really cool like pattern. You can do so much with it, and they have done a lot with it. Again, onto the good. If you look at their website, like it looks good. The color combo looks good. This is a cool little barrel icon. All of these images look good. Like the brand consistency here is on point. I just wish that they had stuck with the personality that this old man had in the barrel, and maybe just added more characters, added more illustration, really leaned into the illustration style rather than just vectorizing it and getting rid of all that personality. There is also a funny rebrand. I've seen this circulate for a long time now. I don't know who made it originally, but somebody made this Cracker Barrel rebrand, which is vectorizing it, but still keeping the personality. I don't even like this personally, but it is better than what they put out today because it still has some personality. But I really do like Cracker Barrel's old-timey illustration style, and I think that they should have just kept leaning into it harder. Look, at the end of the day, I never thought I would be making a video about Cracker Barrel's branding, but here we are. And marketing is about trying to get people to talk about your business, and they did accomplish that. If we haven't met yet, my name is Grayson. This is Grayson's Graphics, and I post videos about design, just like this one. So if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Basically, nobody who watches my channel is actually subscribed, so it would mean a lot to me if you hit that button. Let me know in the comments if you like this new Cracker Barrel brand or if you miss the old man. And if you like this video, you probably like this video where I hired a bunch of graphic designers to fix some of the worst rebrands, including Jaguar. And I might have to do that again for Cracker Barrel. We'll see. See you in the next one.